Everybody, thanks for clicking on Storm Talk. It's been a while since I've had a chance to do a blog update, but tonight I want to make sure to get one out. We'll cover the outlook here for storm chances for the rest of this weekend. We'll talk about the front for next week. We'll talk about the longer-term pattern for the rest of August. I know there's been a lot of talk lately about this Godzilla El Nino. I've already given my thoughts on some of the El Nino data. There's a blog post. Just look for it. I'll try to put the link here on this page, but I did a video on this about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, about the El Nino forecast and the model data and what that could mean, not mean, and there's some oddities to it. It's too early to make any conclusions from this. Don't get too caught up in all the hype that is out there about this El Nino, which, you know, for years always been told once you get to that level it's mainly a super El Nino. Godzilla, now it's getting to catchphrases, but hey, I get it, I guess. It's part of the business for the media. But anyway, there is going to be a lot to discuss for the upcoming winter, but now is not the time to do it. We can look at the pieces of data, but it's just still too early to get much more detail than that. So let's focus on what we can, at least give you some data on that hopefully will hold true, and that is going to be the short-term pattern. And our severe risk tonight, we only had one warning. That was for Du Bois County. It's not technically in our viewing area, but right on the edge. And you guys did pick up some quarter-size hail in some cases there. So, and it was a pretty potent storm in Orange County even as it passed to the southwest of Paoli. Tonight, all the activity is fading out, as you'll see in a moment. Tomorrow, another chance. Isolated thunderstorms are not really in severe risk. Just don't have the wind fields for it. We may have instability for a couple of strong ones, but widespread stuff, not an issue. And then as we head into really Monday into Tuesday, we start to pick up on some more scattered activity. The radar right now, again, really has changed a lot compared to earlier. You know, we had two boundaries today, one that moved in from the north that headed right through Louisville, produced the downpour in Louisville for a while. Then we had one to the south. The one to the south, though, has been crawling, inching northbound, while the one to the north really dove to the south. And they just merged, finally. They have met up and became friends right around the northern areas of Hardin County into Bardstown. But nothing happened, as you see. They just kind of blended together and faded out. So this batch of showers, thunderstorms, has now lost its train, if you will. It's off the tracks, so it's going to fall apart, and the sun's going down as well, so it has a lot against it. So things are going to quiet down tonight. Got to watch for fog, though, later on. I wouldn't rule it out that some areas could see some dense fog. So let's get you through Futurecast here. Overnight tonight, again, quiet, around 70. Tomorrow, similar. I don't think we're going to have as many triggers, like a very obvious north-south trigger like we've seen today. But pop-up thunderstorms can't be rolled out. So the chance is going to be there for tomorrow. Otherwise, when it's not storming, you'll have temperatures in the upper 80s, close to 90 degrees in many areas. And the heat index will be elevated, but nothing off the chart. Monday, slightly better chance for thunderstorms to move in. We've got a little wave that's going to move in out of Tennessee into Kentucky. So I did raise the storm chance here to about 40%. We'll see how this plays out once we get more data tomorrow, but there could be more areas of heavy rain potentially, very localized, but maybe more coverage of that as we head into Monday. Tuesday, we're back to the spotty stuff again. Spotty thunderstorms, temperatures otherwise into the upper 80s. The big issue is going to be for Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday, of course, being the first day of the state fair. We've got a front coming in, area of low pressure. Actually, it's a fairly strong low pressure. We've been talking about this on the earliest alert outlook on the 14-day. About a week and a half ago, we were showing you it's coming toward fair time. We didn't know if it would bring us relief or would it hold back to the west and keep us hot, and the models have been back and forth. It's finally now within our 7-day period, and still, there's some disagreement on how this is going to evolve with the low pressure in the front. This is the GFS. It tries to bring the front through here as we do Wednesday night and early on Thursday. Showers and storms. And notice the tail end of the front really kind of gets hung up here across the Tennessee Valley and kind of washes out. So it's not going to be a clean sweep of a front. In other words, we're not expecting a lot of beautiful weather for days on end after it passes by. We may see a day or two of some nicer weather, but with the front kind of lagging behind here in the Tennessee Valley, it will likely just only help bring back the humidity and the thunderstorm chances. So it's going to be a temporary thing. But the timing of that front's important, and the strength, because there is a severe risk to talk about. And the Storm Prediction Center has already outlined us, mainly along and west of 65 for that potential for severe weather for Wednesday night as these storms move in from the west. So we've got to address the timing issues there because there is, again, some potency to this system coming in for the middle of August. Here's the GFS looking at the wind fields. It takes the main parent low itself mainly to the Great Lakes. So your best dynamics are going to be closer to the low pressure itself. This is Lake Michigan up here to the north. Here's Louisville right in here. So we're on the tail end of the stronger dynamics. So there's enough there showing up to produce some damaging winds. By all means, that's legit. But your more robust thunderstorms, the higher threat for wind damage and even tornadoes would be found closer to the Great Lakes. That is the GFS scenario. The European, which is also similar to the Canadian, by the way, has got a more deeper low that's a little more to the south and then tries to pull out to the north into the Great Lakes. Now, that kind of an action does two things. One, it can bring the better wind fields right into the Ohio Valley versus the Great Lakes. And two, it can slow the timing down. So this could end up being more of a Thursday passage than Wednesday night. And that's important too, because as we all know, when you get thunderstorms that come in at night, their chances of being weaker are higher than if they come in at 3 or 4 in the afternoon when we have max heating of the day. So timing is everything on the severity, but also on the speed issues of planning when's it going to rain or not. Are we going to get lucky and be mainly warm sectored, as we call it, on Wednesday, mainly dry, quite hot in fact, and then Thursday we get the thunderstorms, kind of what the European and the Canadian are suggesting, or is the GFS right, and we're going to see a faster system that'll move in here Wednesday night, and we hopefully will not see a very intense weather out of that, just some thunderstorms, and hopefully clear it out for Wednesday. That's tough. We don't really have answers to those questions yet, so that's why you'll see the rain chances on the 7-day breakdown. They're kind of split somewhat between Wednesday night and Thursday because of that idea. We're going to know real soon which one is going to be more favorable. We just got to get more data on that system, and right now it's still offshore out of west of Canada, so we've got to get some time to get it onshore like we do in the wintertime so we can get data on it. And it's worth watching because here are the capes and stability factor from the GFS. You can see there is some decent amount of cape here, so there could be quite a bit of heating to tap into if it arrives too quick on Wednesday or too late on Thursday. Hopefully it'll be an overnight thing. Then once we get past this front, this is the European model for the rest of August. This is where things get interesting as far as the summertime pattern. We're seeing signs that the heat is going to try to build back in. First off, this is Friday and Saturday coming up. Notice we've got the trough moving through. I was just talking about that, the strong front. Keep an eye on this area of cooling, though, in the Atlantic. Watch what happens to it as we get into the 23rd. Now, this, if you were to take this model and look at it in a more realistic sense, this would suggest a tropical system that is developing in the Atlantic and heading toward the southeast coast. Notice all of the orange. It means the heat shield, the Bermuda High, basically, is winning out. And a prolonged period of hot weather may be developing after this State Fair front moves in. Either this weekend or that weekend coming up into the following week, it looks to be the best time period to see the heat build in. If that does happen, then that does always, I've always said, anytime you get Bermuda High, you get really hot stretches of weather here in Kentucky, that's when you got to watch the tropics. Because tropical systems love that environment for the East Coast. And we are seeing that potential to develop in the southeast, and the Europeans trying to say something may try to develop underneath that and move toward the East Coast. We'll see, because that could impact temperatures in our area. If it moves into, it says, according to the model, by the 25th, it moves into the mid-Atlantic, and that would knock down some of the heat shield somewhat for us and provide more clouds and showers, mainly east of us. Not really a direct impact from the hurricane to us, but it would at least cool the pattern down somewhat. And that's important because the GFS doesn't see the tropical system at all. It sees the heat shield, but not the tropical system. And that's not good, because it says if there's no tropical system, we're dealing with temperatures around 100 degrees. Now, GFS tends to go crazy on that kind of stuff, so I don't think it's going to be that hot, obviously, but it gives you an idea of the placement of the core of the heat, and you see where that is, where the core of this Bermuda High is. So I think the European is right on the idea that a tropical system could certainly develop in this setup, and the GFS is right as well on the idea that it could be a hot stretch of weather. So we'll see. I think how we'll get to that later. We've got to get through this front, though, for Wednesday night and Thursday and solve that question before we can get into all this. So that's how things are looking, guys, for the longer term. I'll see you tonight coming up at 11 o'clock.